Here are the top 3 things that every client that comes into High Ticket Sales Academy hears me tell them when they enroll. And so here's your chance to get a little peek on the inside. Now, if you don't know who I am, my name is Aleo. I'm the CEO and the founder of High Ticket Sales Academy. I'm also the author of the best-selling book, The Book on High Ticket Sales. And I've done over $20 million in remote high ticket sales during my 7-year sales career. Now, not many people can say they've been a closer for 7 years. Not many people can say they've worked for the same company for 7 years. In fact, not many people can say that they've been in sales for over 15 years. And so before I got into this industry, so the other 8 years, I did door-to-door sales, and then also I did insurance sales, and I did that, and I went business to business. And so I really, my life changed a lot when I got into this industry, and that's really why our company started. But anyways, that's a whole other video. I'll get into that stuff. But what you're here for is you want to know what are the 3 things that I tell every brand new client that comes into our program. And so the first thing I want to talk about, which is so important, and for anyone watching this that's already a student of mine, it'll be a refresher. But the number one thing I want to help people understand is that this industry, okay, takes a mindset that is unfeasible. Okay, now what do I mean by having an unfeasible mindset? Okay, a lot of people, if they're brand new to sales, okay, or if you're someone that's seasoned in sales, you still haven't learned this. And it's the difference between someone that's making 30 to 40 grand a month and someone that's making 8, maybe 15, okay? And it's this one concept of becoming unfeasible, okay? Now, when someone's brand new in a program, there's so much stuff they're learning, right? You feel like you're drinking from a fire hose. You're learning this strategy, that tactic. How do I do it? How do I go about this process? Oh my gosh, there's so much to learn. Can I really do this? That's normal, okay? You're a human being. You're ingesting stuff you've never ingested before. You should feel like that, right? But the reality is that there's a way you're going to respond to how things are happening to you. Whether you are going through a program, whether you're on a sales call, and it's how things that are uncontrollable are being thrown your way. And some people, they respond positively, okay? And they're like, man, hey, this is a challenge. I'm excited to keep going through this process. And then there's some people that respond negatively, okay? And if we fast forward to someone getting a brand new career in this space, okay, if you're responding negatively to challenges or adversity that's coming your way, it's going to bring you down and it's going to slow you down, okay, especially on a new sales job. The best sales reps that I've ever seen, when they make a big sale, they don't shout from the rooftops, look at me, I'm making all this money, I'm the best, I'm so happy, today is the greatest day ever, okay? And also, when they're having a slump, they don't get down, okay? They're not someone that is kicking themselves, telling themselves and challenging and wondering, why did I get in this space? I'm never going to make it. The world's coming to an end. They stay unfeasible, okay? And so I want my clients to be challenged to how do I keep an unfeasible mindset? Not only as I'm going through a new program and learning a new skill, but just in life in general, okay? Because the people that make waves in this world, the people that truly make a difference, when uncontrollable things happen, they respond in a way that does not affect them, okay? Because life is not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond when things that are uncontrollable hit your way. And so you can't get too high, you can't get too low, just stay even keel, okay? That is gonna help serve you in the long term of not just having a better life, but also being extremely successful in sales. You'll avoid the roller coasters, the up and downs that a lot of you sales professionals have experienced at some point in your sales career, okay? But again, you gotta keep that mindset key. Number 2, the most important thing that I tell everyone that they must understand as they come into this process is realizing that sales is not a hobby. This is not something you're just going to do kind of here and there and make all this money, but this is a real skill set that you need to master and ongoingly master and get better at if you really want to make the 30, the 40, the 50, even if there was a $60,000 a month in this industry. Now, I'm going to disclaimer, okay? Not everybody makes 40 grand a month in high ticket sales, okay? You got to be top end, one of the best to do it consistently. I'm not talking about 1 month. I'm talking about month over month over month, okay? For someone that's brand new, it's very realistic to expect 8,000, maybe 12,000 in the first handful of months, and as you get better, you get up to 15 and you start to get up to 20, okay? But to get to that next level where it's like 40K, it's 50K, it's, whatever, that takes a lot of work and it takes a lot of refining your skill set. And so when somebody comes into our program, they're going to learn a lot. They're going to learn about frameworks. They're going to learn how to conduct a sales call. They're going to learn how to answer objections. Yes, of course, you're going to learn the baselines and you're going to learn some advanced stuff too. But realize even when you get certified, even when you're on your first job, there's still so much to learn, right? It's like when we think about professional athletes, right? You think about Michael Jordan and you think about these people that have accomplished big things, maybe someone that's in the Olympics, it's like, holy smokes, they're so talented. Well, when you compare them to someone that's talented in high school, right, the gap is insane. Someone that's just a high schooler that's good to someone that's college, pro, semi-pro to like elite, competing at the Olympics, it's a completely different ball game. And it's because that person has refined their skill set and gotten better and better and better and better and always knew that there is a chance to get better. So if you're coming into this space thinking like, I'm going to get a piece of paper and it's going to be the thing that's going to make me make 30 grand a month, you're going to be really upset with yourself if you're not coming into this realizing that sales is a game that you must master and a craft that you must consistently work on to get better. The winners and the best salespeople, and I can say it for myself, are always taking in more content because they always want to learn to get better at sales. And then the last thing, number one, is really I just want to make sure that when people come into my community, that they have an abundance mentality. Okay, now what do I mean by that? Abundance mentality, okay? Well, it's really, really important to realize that sales, you've probably heard it before, that it's a numbers game. Now, there is some truth to that, and then there's another level, which we're gonna talk about how it's a skills game, not just a numbers game, but realizing that when you start in a brand new sales role, okay, your closing percentage is not gonna be the greatest, especially if you've never done sales before. Okay, but if you've done sales, you should do better. Okay, you've been in this situation, right? But the reality is when you have an abundance mentality, what that means is you're not so focused on the little thing in the moment. You realize that there's more to the picture and there's more to come, and it's not the end of the world if somebody doesn't say yes to you. Okay, but going back to close rate, when you're brand new in sales, let's say you take 10 sales calls, and out of those 10 sales calls, you close 2 of them. That means you have a 20% close rate. Okay, that is very normal if you're new. Okay, but think about it in the numbers. 2 people buy from you. That means 8 people said no to you. Okay, now what would be great is if every 4 people you talk to, somebody buys, right? There's a little bit of rejection in there, but it's like sprinkled in with wins. But sometimes you don't have control over that. Okay, sometimes it takes 8 no's in a row. Okay, it takes 10 no's in a row of rejection until you get that second, that third sale, maybe get 3 in a row after that. Okay, but when you're brand new at sales, you can be challenged because you think you suck at it because you're getting rejected, but that's part of sales. Okay, you get more no's than you get yeses. So the first thing you need to embrace is an abundance mentality and realize that when you're new, sales truly is a numbers game. Okay, when I was in door-to-door sales really early on in my sales career, which if you're thinking about getting into sales, you've never done it, don't start in door-to-door. Okay, if I could go back, I would definitely go straight to high ticket. And even though I learned a ton going door-to-door and I made a lot of money at it, I just know that this space is such a better opportunity. But that being set aside, like they told us, like go to knock on doors. You go knock on 40 doors a day, 50 doors a day. Someone's gonna let you in, and they're gonna buy. And the averages were like 20 people would let you inside. So that's half the people you talk to. Okay, if you were good. All right, when I and then from there, like 5 are gonna buy, maybe 10. Okay, but again, like you already know for a fact that it feels like you're losing on paper. Okay, but at the end of the day, when you look at the stats, you see your commission, then you feel like you're winning, right? But it took a lot of work to get there, and so abundance mentality is gonna be huge. Now, for some of you guys that are sales pros, and you're like, well, yeah, numbers are important, numbers, yeah, sure, but it really does come down to skill. You are right. Okay, but the thing is when you've been in sales for years, you've already built the resistance, the stamina to rejection. Okay, and so you already know that it's a numbers game, and so you already believe that, and you've mastered that skill set. Okay, once you've mastered working hard in the belief that if you just talk to people, someone's eventually going to buy, that's like skill set number 1. Okay, but the second skill is now like, how do I refine my skill set? So what we talked about a minute ago, okay, to keep getting better, that's how you close more people. That's how you have a higher closing percentage, okay? That's how you improve the numbers game because your skill set is better, all right? And so those are the 3 biggest things that I think every brand new person needs to know to really have success in remote high ticket sales. And if you're someone that's considering getting into this space, if you're considering, going through this process, check out High Ticket Sales Academy. You can go to highticketsalesacademy.com. You can follow us on Instagram. You can check us out on our YouTube channel. You can go to our website, go to Trustpilot, whatever. But obviously, we'd love to chat with you about what it could look like to get started in the space. And hopefully we can hear from you soon. But if anything, I hope this video is helpful for you. My goal is to bring you guys the most value, even if you never work with me at all. So if you subscribe now, you're just going to get tons of content. And at the end of the day, you're going to learn how to be a great high ticket closer. I'll see you soon.